The 10 most annoying
things about sport. You'll like this, won't you? Because they're all annoying things about sport.
Yep.
I dare say you'll be able to add to the list, and maybe you as well, Will, driving along or at home. But here is number
10.
Bowls. Sometimes it's on the telly. Indoor bowls. Who cares? How can you care? There's never likely to be any anger or a fight, and that's what sport's really all about. So
It'd be great if there was, though, wouldn't there?
What, in a
Quite
bowls
heavy.
tournament? Oh, if they went at each other with their bowls. Yes, I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah.
At number
9.
Snooker. All the characters in snooker now are commentators. Not that long ago, some snooker players were fat, some were so skinny and almost drugged out. It was fantastic. Some were old, very old and one-eyed, and some were so young. When Stephen Hendry started playing snooker, he had to get permission from his primary school.
Did he?
No, I made that up.
Oh.
You're very gullible.
Well.
But you know what I'm saying? Now all the characters are commentators and all the snooker players look exactly alike, so snooker is very annoying. At number
8.
Boxing. And they've gone all bookish nowadays. They used to be thugs with broken noses who couldn't articulate anything. Now, they all seem to have their own newspaper columns in The Independent. Amir Khan looks like a very successful insurance boss. Even lying down, which he spent most of his last fight doing. So that's very annoying. At number
7.
Cricketers. It spits with rain and they go off. You've paid your money, you've paid your 47 quid for a seat at Lord's. It spits with rain. It's not pouring rain, it spits. Rain in the air, you know that one? And they troop off.
Yeah, well, that's because they don't want to fall over and get a grass stain on their nice white trousers.
They don't mind getting grass stains on their nice white trousers if they're married men,
Why is that?
because their wives have to get it out.
Oh.
If they're single men, then it is a bit of a fag.
Is that why they don't mind getting the red stain on there as well from the ball?
They do rub the ball against their groin area a lot, don't they?
Is that the single ones?
I probably the ones who went to public school.
6.
And number 6, footballers claiming it's their throw. This will go over your head, Rosalie, but every time the ball goes out of play, and there's a possibility, a sneaking possibility, that the throw could be given to each of the two sides, always, you know, it's 90% certain which team's got the throw, but the other guy, okay, who's only got a 10% chance of being given the throw, always goes, "A ball! A ball!" And he knows it's not. And it's just annoying, because it's only a throw-in.
Yeah.
It's not like a penalty.
No, it's not like a goal.
Or a red card. It's just a throw.
5.
Fifth most annoying thing about sport is never being able to work out when you're watching Formula 1 on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday lunchtime, it's on ITV. You're never able to work out who's where.
No.
Because the cars all look the same.
They do.
Really. And you just don't know if it's Senna or Massa or... That's a
Raikkonen.
bad name, isn't it, for a person that wouldn't work, would it?
What, Massa?
No, if they took him to... If they raced Formula 1 in Alabama, that would be considered inappropriate. Wouldn't it? Yes, Massa. You can't say Massa in Alabama anymore.
Oh. Fair enough.
What? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Excellent. Fourth most annoying thing about sport. Golf. Get in the hole! I know it's obvious, but the Americans, they always go, get in the hole! Not just when a guy's hit a 6-foot putt, but sometimes when a guy is hitting a tee shot off a 580-yard par 5. Get in the hole! You really do want to slap them. And the bloke who was the first bloke to shout it, who was he?
3.
Tennis. Anything to do with Andy Murray.
Yeah.
He's still annoying. He's got a bit better, not a lot.
No.
He still hasn't won anything, but we're still trying to like him, but we can't, because he is very, very, very annoying.
2.
Rugby. Rugby players and rugby fans claiming that rugby is bigger than football, which is ludicrous. It's almost impossible to believe that they think it might be. 12 people in Britain play rugby every year at various levels, right across the board, whereas 47 million people play football in Southampton alone.
Really?
Those are the official stats. You're very gullible this morning.
And the number 1 most annoying...
thing about sport is show jumping. Everything to do with it. Everything to do with it. Except, I suppose, some of the women in jodhpurs. But the whole thing, the ludicrousness of it, the pomp, the ceremony, the way the horses are decked out, the dressage bit, the bit where the horses have to dance, that's ridiculous. The silly outfits that they wear, the top hats, all the fences that are decked out with flowers around them and made to look like walls, except they're not. It's ridiculous. It's a ludicrous sport. I hate it. I sit there, switching back to make myself angry, knowing that the show jumping is still on. So those are the 10 most annoying things to do with sport this morning. Must have missed out something. You can text 81800. The thing about poison arrows, I've always thought, I don't know about you, Rosalie, men think about this more often than women. I'd far rather be shot with a gun than with an arrow. I wouldn't like to see it sticking out of me, that's the thing.
And you wouldn't want to pull it. You wouldn't want to pull it out as well, because.
Well, you mustn't. That's why they put barbs on the end of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Really, arrows are not a good thing. One of our kings was, according to the Bayeux Tapestry, killed with an arrow that went through his eye. King Harald.
Oh yeah.
But then other reinterpretations of the Bayeux Tapestry suggest that that was somebody else and that he was actually trampled by a horse. There can't have been any good, quick ways to go on the battlefield, can there? I've often wondered what I would do if I had to go. I think men do. We wonder what we would do if we were involved in a medieval battle. How would we deal with it?
Why medieval, particularly?
Well, because there wasn't so much there's not so much hand-to-hand combat in modern warfare. There's plenty. But medieval battles are all hand-to-hand combat. That means that at some point during the battle, you're facing some other bloke. You see. And so what I decided I would do is as we're running towards them, up the hill or down the hill or across the field, having been given the go by the king, going, ah! I'd let quite a few other people get ahead of me.
Going, ah?
Yeah. Ah!
Oh, right, that's better. I thought you were going to run towards people going, ah.
No. Have you heard of the song The Rebel Yell?
No.
During the American Civil War, the rebels, they were the Confederate Army, of course, they had this noise. Nobody knows where it came from, but when they charged the Union soldiers in battle, they would make the rebel yell. I suppose you want me to do it now?
Yes.
Okay, it sort of goes like this. Like that, charging at them like that. Because, of course, up to a point, it makes you feel brave enough to die, because you might be about to die. You get a bullet in the wrong place. So I think if I was charging towards a load of people shooting guns, I'd probably want to make a noise a bit like that.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
But I decided that if I was in a medieval battle, I'd let some of the other guys get ahead of me. And then as I was running towards, with about 100 yards to go, you can usually pick out, from amongst the other blokes, who's the weakest. So I'd go for him. And then I'd try and manoeuvre our one-on-one away from the main battle, pretending that we're having a fight. And I'd sort of be winking at him. I'd be going, come on, let's go to the right.
Should we just run away?
We'd be standing opposite each other with swords, sort of going, but not really, you know. Then we go...
Just try and make a silent deal with someone who's probably not the same nationality as you, and you're supposed to be fighting anyway.
Yeah, and all you hope is that one of his men don't come up behind you and cut your head off. But what I'd do is I'd sort of make this silent pact with the other bloke, and then I'd manoeuvre myself off, and then hopefully, once we got out of sight of everybody, I'd go, you know, fancy a coffee? See, you're lucky, you're women. You never had to think down the years about things like that. You always go on about childbirth and the menopause, but we had to put up with the king coming and getting us and saying, "Here too, all men of fit and fine purpose and body shall henceforth report to the king in order to be chopped up by the Normans." You have a choice in the matter.
Quite glad I'm a girl, really.
Exactly. OK, having sorted that one out, let's get the news.